What's going on, everyone? Let's get this all up here. So, lots to talk about. I'll wait for a few more people to join us. If you're watching on Twitter, what's up? Let me just see if I can share this. We shall begin. Make sure you are retweeting if this is on Twitter and sharing with everyone. Very much appreciate people helping me get this message out and sharing what the hell's going on here. So, awesome. So yeah, I mean, we have the new moon coming up on the 6th, which is in 2 days. It's happening early in the morning, so we're going to already start to feel the effects of that today, right now, as many of you already are. And a big aspect of that is what's happening in relationship to technology. This new moon, as I'll share with you in a few moments, is ultimately going to be very, very profound in starting what I believe to be the beginning of quite a few internet blackouts. So I feel like what we experienced today was really nothing and not much, and it's really just the start of a lot of things going on. So what we're going to be experiencing when we, finally experience the new moon, and when we go into the next weeks and months through until pretty much February, to be honest, this is like a catalyst for what's going to happen. And I'm going to describe what this new moon in Libra coming up with Mars and in a quincunx, which is not a very happy aspect, with Uranus. And Uranus, as some of you may know, rules technology. Thus, we have some technological problems going on. And that's already beginning today because, Uranus being an outer planet, and the sun coming into an aspect there, the sun is also, a slower moving planet. Obviously, the sun goes through every sign, one sign per month. Hence, we have 12 months out of the year and 12 signs in the zodiac. So this new moon is going to be very, very interesting because we have Mars and Venus both in their weak places. They're not very happy. And from a technological standpoint, we also have poor old Mercury in retrograde. This new moon is also on Mercury's day. This is going to highlight that even more. And as I said, we are seeing a very harsh aspect to Uranus. So I'm about to just pull up the screen here so you guys can see this. So this is a new moon chart. This is a chart for the new moon. And let's talk about what's going on here. Okay, we got the new moon, 13 degrees Libra. 1326 is the exact. It's not fully exact here as I have it, but that's the exact. And then it's also conjunct Mars, as we can see here. And Mars is not very happy in Libra. Mars is detriment in Libra, and how I like to describe Mars in Libra is kind of like trying to stuff Sylvester Stallone in a tutu. It just doesn't really work. It's not very effective at getting its job done because Mars is a warrior and Venus is a lover. So Mars is weak here. And in Scorpio, Venus is in Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Okay, so this is actually technically a mutual reception. That's what it's called in astrology when two signs are in they're like Venus is ruled by Libra, Mars is ruled by Scorpio. So Mars is at home in Scorpio, Venus is at home in Libra, and Mars is in Libra and Venus is in Scorpio, so it's the opposite. And so that's what we call mutual reception. However, true mutual reception or when they're around the same degrees and or in aspect with each other, and they're not, unfortunately. So we're not getting really any benefit from them being in a quote-unquote mutual reception. Now, the big thing that we got to look at is what's happening between the Sun, Moon, and Mars, and up here with Uranus. Because Uranus rules technology. Uranus rules the internet. And the Sun and Moon in Libra, for the new moon, this focus is really on relationships, community. That's the main theme of Libra is relationship dynamics. Not always intimate relationship dynamics, but also community relationship dynamics. Thus, if we are looking at it in a context of Libra is a very social planet, Mercury is retrograde, hence we're going to have communication challenges as we tend to have with Mercury. Mercury also rules technology to some extent, not quite modern technology, but communicative technology, because Mercury does rule communication. So because we have this Mercury retrograde, also in a mild aspect with Uranus there, this is going to be kind of throwing into the picture more chaos. And so what does this all mean? How does this all get synthesized? Well, we have Mercury, the planet of communication, retrograde, which means that it's going backwards, which means that it's stopped, it's going in the wrong direction, which means communication there's challenges there. Now, Mercury's in Libra. Libra's community. Libra is also justice. Libra is social systems. Libra is relationship dynamics. Libra is community. In aspect with Uranus ruling technology, and Uranus is actually in Taurus. Hence, we're going to find ourselves kind of moving back to older technologies. This is what I believe is going to come out of this. This is my prediction. Is I believe that after this new moon, we're going to have to be forced to resort to different forms of technology that cannot be censored, because that's ultimately where we're going, right? They, quote unquote, are pushing us into censorship, as we've seen so eloquently over the last few years, where now we have really no choice but to go into, revert back into some of the older systems, like, for example, let's just say radio. You can't really jam radio. You can jam a radio channel, but you can always use what police use, which is where they bounce in between channels and they sync up with one another. So the only way to truly jam radio is to jam all the radio stations, which is not helpful for communication for even quote-unquote authorities. So, I really think we're going to get back into that. Mesh networks is another kind of way of communicating, which doesn't use the internet, because we are going to experience internet blackouts. In conjunctions, which we see here, the aspect between 13 degrees Uranus and 13 degrees new moon, conjunct Mars. Mars is challenges. Mars is a malefic. And when a malefic with the new moon is conjunct the new moon, that's challenges, obviously, in relationships. But then when we're looking at this from a more of a mundane perspective, and mundane in astrology just means the world, we're looking at localized communities and macro communities, especially when it's in relationship to the planet of, ultimately, the internet, Uranus. Okay, Uranus also rules collective trauma. So that's another interesting aspect here, is, in regards to how we've been communicating and what we're communicating with when it comes to each other and our intentions and everything. We're going to run into some problems. Okay, so there's no coincidences, really. Astrology proves there's really no coincidences when you know how to properly interpret it. Because if you look at the charts of moments when certain events and situations happen, you'll realize that there are no coincidences, okay? Once again, if you guys are watching this on Twitter, make sure you're retweeting this, sharing it, liking it. I much appreciate that. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe here as well. Okay, so what does this all mean? What does this all mean? Well, new moon in Libra, the major themes coming out of this with this, we got Mercury retrograde coming also it's in a square with Pluto really too. This is another thing that contributes to the chaotic dynamic of internet blackouts and so on and so forth, which is why I'm not just mentioning it from one aspect. That's another very important point is I'm mentioning it from many aspects. So I would really recommend, we pay close attention. There's lots of things going on right now that are beyond the surface. Mercury's in an aspect with Neptune, a harsh aspect. This harsh aspect is going to bring out confusion, mass delusion, and often hidden agendas, especially with this new moon conjunct Uranus. Shocking technological events attributed to our social platforms, how we socialize, and ultimately with Mars there, how we battle as well. Well, our fight, quote unquote, is a spiritual fight that we're in right now, right? This is spiritual warfare that we're in, and one of the main tools we use to communicate with each other is the internet. That's how you're watching this right now. So without that, then we're going to run into some problems, and we need to come up with solutions. And so I'm a solution-oriented person. I'm not here to just focus on all the negatives. I think it's very important that we look at the positives and look at, from an optimistic perspective, how we can make some positive changes to ensure that the best possible outcome happens. One of the Aquarian Sutras, or the mantras for the Aquarian age, is there's a way through every block. And I believe that's very, very true. And so when I'm saying all this, I'm not saying it to be a doomsday prepper or anything like that. I'm saying that because I want you to be educated, and I want you to just understand what's coming. And I also want to be able to say I told you so to all the clowns that are, doubtful of what's happening. I mean, if you're still calling people conspiracy theorists after the last 2 years, you are the clown, my friends. So let's just be real here. Mars in detriment conjunct the moon in the sun in Libra. Sun is also not happy in Libra. Mars is not happy in Libra. Moon is a decent place for Libra, but it's nothing special either. No offense to the Libra moons, but it's not powerful. It's not necessarily weak. It's just I would say Libra moons generally can be a very harmonious placement, but they can also be people that tend to overthink relationship dynamics a lot to the point where it's not good for them. So, this new moon's chaotic. I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. I'm just being real. This is absolutely chaotic here. Mars is like I said, not happy in Libra. Mars and like all these degrees, by the way, are happening in the term. I mean, it really depends on the system that you use, but here, the term of Uranus, that's something. There's something to be said about that too. This is all I'm saying. This is whack. That's all I'm saying. Is it's going to be whack. Expect blackouts, just prepare for that. Prepare that, your social platforms might go down again. There might be some big leaks. And by the way, like I said, with this aspect, this new moon Mercury aspecting Neptune, some big illusions are going to be revealed. That's for sure. And I don't think they'll be revealed until after Mercury stations direct and leaves shadow, which will be in about November-ish. That's when more things will start to come out. Again, being very mindful of just manipulation, hidden agendas, all that sort of stuff, because it's all happening. And Venus is very close to the South Node too, which is again revealing more shadow stuff in regards to the collective, more of the hidden secrets of what could be. So be very, very mindful. Now, what else? Oh, yeah, Mercury in aspect to Pluto. That's also a pretty profound, transformative placement that is not going to uh, be some sort of, subtle experience. In fact, Pluto's aspecting both Neptune and Mercury right in the mix. And that's kind of creating a very interesting pattern because, like I said, things are going to be blowing up out of proportion. Things will get pretty, like I said, I'm not trying to be doomsday here, but I'm just saying things are going to get complicated and pretty intense until February when the steam starts to unfold. They've been planning this quote unquote, I don't want to say some trigger words here, but a dimly lit winter solstice, let's just say, dimly lit winter, an evening winter, but they've been planning this for a long time, and the next stage is going to be cyber attacks. So just be wary of that, and it's all part of the agenda here. It's all targeted. It's all intentional. It's not spontaneous leaks and all that stuff, and it's all hiding shit. Okay, there's no doubt in my mind that the Pan the Horn God Dora the Explorer papers came out, and then this leak happens, right? This Instagram, Facebook shutdown happens. So there's no doubt in my mind that that's not intentional. It's all distraction. So never look at what's actually happening. Look at what is happening can be used to hide what's truly going on. That's where you need to be. The magician, the only way that the magician is able to, and I don't mean a true occult magician, but I mean an illusionist. The only way an illusionist is able to maintain the illusion is by sleight of hand, which means that he's getting you to focus over here, while meanwhile down here he's doing something else. And that is exactly how these sick bastards work. Okay, they work in the same way. They distract you over here. Oh, tech meltdown. Okay, well, what's that hiding? What are they covering up? Right? That's the real question. Why are they able to get hacked? How much data have you given Facebook and Instagram, and they're able to hack? By the way, I suggest every single person watching this and beyond change their fucking passwords. Instagram, Facebook. And I would deactivate and delete that shit if you can. I'm probably going to have to do that with Facebook, to be honest. Just make sure I stay connected with people that I care to stay connected with, because I got, some of the older family members are only on Facebook and whatnot. But yeah, I would recommend you guys change that as soon as possible, because like I said, what's coming is not going to be pleasant. That's all I'm saying. This is not to be some, I'm always here. I know we are already winning this battle, by the way. That's why I say this. I'm not saying this to be some glooming doom revelations, guy. It's not what I'm here to do. But I will say that we're already winning this battle. We've already really won, to be honest. And that's why they're terrified. They're shaking in their fucking boots, is because they know they can only hold this illusion for a little bit longer before things must change, and we will make them change. And it's already been written. It's already been done. They're trying to play by these clown rules, and people are not happy about that. In fact, humans throughout history, it's just, unfortunately, we've been we're like, frogs in warm water that are being brought to a boil. And unfortunately, in previous times, we haven't fully learned what it means to be thrown into boiling water. So they learned, the handlers of humanity learned that in order to get us and convince us to drink the Kool-Aid, we must first be brought and wooed in to the warm bath water, right? It's like, oh, this is a beautiful, warm Epsom Dead Sea salt bath water. and you're going to get nourished by this, and everyone's like, oh, well, that's nice. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, you really, really want this. You really want to get in the bath. Just get in the fucking bath. And then soon it's like, get in the fucking bath or you're going to die. And that's where it's already headed, as you can kind of see, how this has gone in, right? It's like, oh, stay safe out there, muzzle up, stay safe. Right? And then isolate yourself, stay inside. Definitely don't get any sunlight. Definitely don't get any fresh air. That's bad. There's no such thing as boosting immune systems and any of that stuff. That's terrible. It's the devil. It's the devil. Don't do that. But then then you should definitely check out this new subscription product that we have that you have to take every 3 to 6 months for the rest of your life. It's a great product. It doesn't work, and the only way it works is if everyone takes it. So take it, damn it, take it. Shame anybody who doesn't take it. Okay, well, that doesn't work. Okay, well, let's take away all the freedoms and rights, and then say the only way that you can have freedoms and rights is to take our fucking subscription product that doesn't even work. This is where it's heading. So, if you can't realize this now, it is just going to get worse before it gets better. I hate that term, to be honest. I really do, but it's truth here. We're heading into the dimly lit winter, and the only reason that this is happening now is, as the classic axiom goes, it's darkest before the dawn. And we are truly at the edge of the dawn here, of the age of Aquarius, where we're stepping into, who we really, really are as a collective society, and we're truly embracing the future of all that we really are. And that's the power, is we are coming together. We are realizing how powerful we are. We're upgrading ourselves. We're stepping into our true selves, you could say. And with that, we need to be extra cautious of all the sleight of hands that are being played on us right now. Okay. So, some final words here of the new moon and what's happening is, like I said, be prepared for this. This Uranus placement is a nasty placement. I'm going to be real with you, and we have to be adequately prepared for the upcoming blackouts, which means I highly recommend everyone does a little bit of research into mesh networks. Okay, mesh networks, very important. There's a blockchain protocol called Helium. That's a very interesting thing. You can go to helium.com to check that out and see what that's all about. There's another one called, I believe it's called Go Radio. Go Antenna, I believe. And that's another one that is a mesh network. There's also apps that you can get on the App Store. I just downloaded a couple. I'll try and edit this link afterwards in the description and leave it there for you guys. But I will just say, this new moon is also about harmonizing ourselves so that we can truly understand how we can focus our will in order to create all the things that we want to create, build great communities, build a great society, and ultimately create heaven on earth. But we have to be mindful of how the illusions come into play with that. The biggest distraction that they're going after is the distraction of our will, because we are powerful creators, both collectively and individually. And when we understand what it means to create, when we understand the power of creating, and when we understand the power of our mind and our focus and our intention and our feelings and our emotions and our thoughts, then you'll finally realize that these clowns at the top have no chance. And they know that. They're shit out of luck, and they know that. And that's why they're going so hard to try and push this tyrannical agenda on everyone, just to, make it seem like, we're the crazy ones and all that, right? So, again, be mindful of illusions because of Neptune in aspect with Mercury. The illusions that are going to come out of this are going to be related to communities, which means don't isolate yourself from other people during this time. don't get bought into any sort of divisive tactics that they're going to try and implant into us. All Hallows Eve, these are pagan holidays, and they do some fucked up shit on pagan holidays, and I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to go extra hard this year. And then the 11th month is always a very powerful occult number as well, so you got to be mindful of that, which is going to probably come back in November. So just be considerate about, again, illusions, divisions, distractions. All these things are used to woo you away from truly activating and enacting your will to create heaven on earth by buying you into the guise that you're living in hell. And the truth is, you're not living in hell, you're living in heaven. And hell is ultimately your own creation. So if you are living in hell, then I pity you, because that sucks, and it doesn't have to be that way. That's your choice. So think about that for a little bit. Again, Mercury is also an aspect with Pluto there, which is rather intense. It's moving away from that, but then it's going to come back through its shadow period, back to meet up with Pluto again at the end of October into November. So I'd highly recommend we be very, very mindful of the stuff we're watching, what we're putting our minds to, because the reason that certain media forms like films, music, and television are released and certain dates and with certain amounts of marketing and hype is to get us to create collective programs for us to create self-fulfilling prophecies of. And a lot of these are also used to, in a sense, give you the consent of shit they're gonna do in real life or are already doing in real life. And you shouldn't consent to any of that stuff. Thus, you must be very, very mindful of what you're consuming media-wise. Music, movies, television, all that stuff. So that's another important thing, especially with this Mercury-Pluto aspect. And then, as I said, with the Uranus, this is big tech. This is some challenges to big tech. This is also, though, Uranus and Taurus is us getting back into the earth, reminding ourselves of what's important. That's what I really think this new moon is going to bring about. It's going to bring about a lot of frustration for many people, but that is going to be either used constructively to create something better, right? More decentralized networks, more decentralized platforms, right? I'm starting to look a little bit more into that and hopefully get on some of those up and coming decentralized platforms like DLive, and there's some other good ones, Rumble and stuff. So I'm looking into it. And if you guys have any suggestions, by the way, of platforms that are, up and coming, or that you've heard a lot of good things about that are secure and safe, then please let me know. Absolutely. I'm very interested right now. So you can send me a message on Instagram, Twitter, or drop a comment below if you're watching on YouTube. And another thing I will say is make sure you follow me on all platforms, because if Instagram and Facebook and Twitter all go down, we got to be able to find each other and communicate with each other. So I'd highly recommend you find me on Telegram. You can go to t.me/official Will Nichols to join my group, where I'd be posting some stuff that I can't always post online. Follow me on Instagram for now, and also follow me on Twitter if you aren't already. And then check out my YouTube, which is youtube.com/c/I'm Will Nichols, and subscribe to there for more videos. And again, I'm looking at getting into some better, more decentralized platforms, but it's best to just stay connected as we can now, and then as diversified as we possibly can, because what's coming is going to be a whole renaissance towards social platforms, communication, social networking, and all of that. And that's exactly what the astrology is saying and reflecting back towards us. And that's also what we're seeing if you can read between the lines. Like I said, the illusions that are happening, they will be shocking. The information that comes out in regards to the devil's juice, and in regards to the mark of the beast, and in regards to the satanic clown show that runs the world, it's going to be shocking to a lot of people. It's going to melt a lot of people's brains. And you have to be prepared for that. So, just hold on tight. It's a rodeo. It's a ride. It's a game. Enjoy the game. Play the game. Remember, you make the rules of the game. It's a game. And it's not, the rules are not made by other people. The rules are made by you. So I'd highly recommend you remember that it is a game, and it's all a game. I will get my email list back up. I'll actually do that tonight. That's a great idea. I have an email list. I'm pretty sure I might have it linked in my website. Let me just actually check that right now, and if not, I'll get that up. If you go to... I don't have it up, but if you go to iamwillnichols.com, there's a links to all my social platforms, and then I will add my email list there too, because that's also very important. Thank you for that recommendation, Sal. One final thing that I will just say is, in these times, it's absolutely, utterly important to be working on ourselves, to be living in the highest vibration possible, to be living from the highest place possible, to know yourself as best as you possibly can, to step into your true power and awaken to your potential. And if you're not there yet, find people who will help you get there. Find coaches, mentors, friends, community members that will help you get there. It's very, very important that we all do this now. This is the highest ROI activity that we could possibly be doing, on top of probably buying land and homeschooling your kids and staying away from the mark of the beast. So all these things are very, very important. But what's most important is that we build out amazing communities, conscious communities of like-minded people, that we stick together, because the only way they could attempt to conquer is through division. And if we do not let them divide us, then we will remain on top. And that's what matters most, is that we're connected, we're together, we're all in this together. We are all members of humanity, the human race. We all have human rights, and those human rights cannot be violated without consequences, not just physically, but karmically, energetically, spiritually. There are laws that we all must follow, and these people have been, in some regard, breaking a lot of those laws, and thus what's coming will be monumental, and it's truly the most exciting time to be alive. So don't be worried, don't be afraid. Live in your truth, live in your power. Absolutely do not be doing anything that is not in alignment with who you really are, especially right now, because all that's going to do is keep you locked into this old world, this old vibration of pain and suffering and fear and all of that, which we don't want. Okay, we want to truly live and bring in the birthing of the new eon, which is a very, very powerful time. And if you're watching this, then you're a part of creating heaven on earth. And I thank you for your good work, even if you're just getting started, because we need every single person on the team that we can get. So remember that, and remember to live in your truth, live in your power, and rise in your power. If you need help with that, if you're struggling with mental health right now, make sure you reach out to me, because like I said, we gotta stick together, and we absolutely have to work on ourselves. This is the most fundamentally important thing. Break free from the system as best as you possibly can. Do not rely on the beast system, and at the same time become self-sufficient, not just physically, financially, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And truthfully, when you become self-sufficient mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and physically, you are able to create heaven on earth for yourself. It's very, very important we do this work. There's never been a time in history where self-development, personal development has been more important. There's never been a time in history where we need to do this spiritual work. There's never been a more important time in history when we need to really remove and destroy this mental health, psychiatric, disgusting system that we've been entrapped in and enslaved by. Mental health is a radical disease that is plaguing humanity, mental illness, and it's because we're boxed into a fucked up system. And I'm doing my work to help destroy that system and break it apart and give people the support and mental health care that they need. But I'm one guy, and that's why I think it's very important that we all do the work and that we get this work completed as fast as we possibly can internally, so that we can get cracking on the external. But ultimately, when we do the internal work, the external will always work itself out. So remember this. Remember there are no coincidences. Remember this is all a game. Remember you're creating your own experience at all times. Remember that no matter what happens, there is a way through every block, every single block. And remember to live in love and live from the heart, because they want you living in hell, and hell is living below the heart. The three colors of the energy below the heart are red, orange, and yellow, the flames of hell. So if you want to live in heaven, you must go through the heart and live above the heart and live in God, dwell in God, trust in God, have faith, and remember who you really are, which is a fragment of God and an expression of God. And when you realize that, and you don't let these clownies, these carnies, these corny clowns at the top rule you and ultimately fuck you, then you will have a beautiful life experience. I'm living in paradise. I'm gonna be real with you all. I'm living in paradise, and you can too. Okay? And like I said, if you need help with that, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you. I got a few spots for my mental health care practice, and I got a few spots for one-on-one coaching as well. And I got some amazing online programs that you guys should definitely check out. And if you want an astrology consultation, you can send me a message as well. I still do those. And what else? That's pretty much about it. IamWillNichols.com for all my social links. Otherwise, I'll see you when I see you. Have a blessed new moon. This is a great time to really get centered in our truth, really get centered in our relationships, and utilize this time wisely and correctly to live from truth, live from God, and remember who we are. All right? Much love.